Good morning. Ooh, it'd help if I'd hit the right slider to turn down that music, huh? Ooh, can definitely tell it's been a couple weeks. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing good. Um, it's been a really busy couple weeks for me, I guess. Obviously, I haven't had an opportunity to get on here and do a podcast in a while. So, just trying to get everything squared back away and going good. So, yeah, hope everybody's been doing good. Welcome to Forged with Fire. My name is Spencer Ray, aka Fire Squasher 357 on Twitch, thus Forged with Fire. I am your host with the most, I guess. I guess if you ever watched, what was it, Beetlejuice or something like that. I am the hostess with the mostest. Anyway, just out here being silly, being dumb, talking about life lessons and leadership for men, aka learn from my stupid mistakes. I say AKA a lot. That's really not the smartest. It's an acronym, but hey, how many people actually say that all the time? It's kind of weird, huh? So yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. I am recovering from a weekend of being out in the heat. Got to go do one of my favorite pastimes. I got to go shoot some races this weekend, running camera for out at Wheatland, Missouri's Lucas Oil Speedway. Got to shoot the dirt track Saturday night, streaming live on their online platform, and then shot the drag boats. Yes, I said drag boats. All day yesterday. It's really fun. I enjoy doing that. It's a great side hustle, but it's fun. It's something I really enjoy. So I don't know. Always working on things that I can do to you know make a little more money, but enjoy life at the same time. But it was really hot, and I'm still a little dry too. But it was really hot being out there. There was a nice breeze, but man, it was fun. I love racing. If you've listened to any of my other podcasts, I talk about racing more than anything whenever I talk about any sports. Um, but that's just me. I enjoy racing a lot, and so getting to actually go and be on a camera or doing other work, media wise, with racing and making money while I'm doing it. That's that's what I enjoy. So anyway, oh man, a little scatterbrained. It's Monday morning here in Southwest Missouri. If you're watching this later on YouTube, which by the way, we're streaming live on YouTube for the first time, as long as it's working right. Anyway, I haven't really checked to see if everything's working right, but we're trying out the restream through our OBS platform just to see how it works. Um, to get the videos straight to YouTube. So instead of having to record and then upload, and yes, I'm recording just to be safe, just in case it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. I didn't have time to run a big test this weekend to make sure everything was working right, but we're trying out Restream before we do any subscriptions or anything. I really like the basic OBS platform. Thought about doing Streamlabs, but really, OBS is so customizable. And I've got a pretty basic setup. I don't need anything fancy or flashy right now with just doing the podcast here and then occasionally streaming a game on my PC or through my Xbox. I don't need anything fancy. I still haven't got a ton of followers yet, which please like, share, and subscribe. Forged with Fire or Fire Squasher 357. And I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, what are we talking about today? Talk about asking for help. We're if you're a guy watching this, which that's who this is mainly targeted to, is men. But if you're a guy watching this, yes, you can see me fidgeting with my right hand or left hand over here. I just realized that behind me. But anyway, there's this stereotype of for guys that basically says we can't ask for help. The main one being you're on a trip somewhere and you don't have your GPS on. Used to be you didn't have a road map, and you say you know where you're going, but then you don't. And then your spouse or significant other that's with you in the car, or your kids or whatnot, are sitting there telling you, hey, you need to stop and ask for directions. You need to stop and ask for help. And what's the guy's response? No, I know what I'm doing. I don't need any help. That's kind of the lighthearted thing that there's a lot of funny stories, and I'm sure every guy at some point in time, including myself, has um, hit a point where I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, and we end up, you know, in Timbuktu somewhere, or driving down the wrong street in a city, um, and getting completely lost in the middle of all the buildings, and then you're going, how the heck do I get out of here? But on there can be lighthearted things like that, or we're working on something really heavy, and you know, if you're married, your wife is like, you need to call one of your guys and tell them to come help you lift this or move this. And you're like, no, I got it. And you end up, excuse me, you end up pulling a hammy, or messing up your lower back, you know, being stupid, being macho. But I want to take this a little bit deeper, and talk about just not just the physical side of needing help. Yeah, we all need guys that we need to lean on, that we can lean on whenever we need help physically, getting some work done, whether it's working on a vehicle, working on something around the house, working outside. Like a year or two ago, we had a big, what kind of tree was that? Big, was it a maple tree? Uh, a big maple tree out here in our backyard that was starting to split in half, and it's probably 30 foot tall. In fact, I think after we got it cut down, we lost count at 75 rings, which was crazy. The base of the tree is like almost 2.5, 3 foot around across. But yeah, but we started cutting it down. We were going to cut it down, and I realized, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. I need to call in some help, and I was fortunate enough to be able to call my brother-in-law, um, to come and help, who had some tools that I didn't have, and doubled our horsepower. Doubled our power to where we could work together on it. It took us a few days. We didn't try to. It was so close to the house and our deck, we didn't just drop the tree and then cut it up. We had to uh, get up on the tree and cut limbs off, and then it forked right about, I'd say about 10 foot up. It forked, so we ended up having to cut one side off and drop it in between uh, the privacy fence and the deck, which was, he did great, man. He dropped that thing perfect, and we didn't realize it when we dropped to that side that the other side was leaning in a very awkward way that was going to make it hard to cut it down without falling on the house. Well, needless to say, even with the jigs and the ropes and the pulleys and everything we had set up and trying to pull it away from the house, it still ended up dropping off the stump and then falling on, part of it falling on the house. Fortunately, uh, it didn't do much damage other than basically bending a little bit of gutter. And yeah, we got really lucky on that one. Had the house checked out and everything was good. So, but the lesson is you got to learn. You got to know when you need help. You should know your limits. If you don't, you're gonna have to figure out your limits. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's gonna come a time when you figure out your limits, I guess you could say, and you realize you're not going to be able to do something on your own, and that you need help. So, as men, again, we like to be macho and tell the world that I don't need any help. I can do it all on my own. Um, but we're called to live in a community, and as men, we should be helping each other, physically, and then let's get into the mental and emotional side too. Because I mean, we can come up with all kinds of funny stories of stuff we've tried to do on our own. Well, heck, we can come up with funny stories where it's been two guys working on something, or there's a hold my beer and watch this moment. That's we could come up with some really good stories. But when you get to the emotional side and mental side of things with guys, we may not be specifically told to our face you need to push it down and not ask for help, but as a culture, we expect men to either be super emotional, where they share every emotions, which I think that can be unhealthy as well, or we tell them to be super macho and shove it all down. There's no middle ground, and I think where we need to be as men is in that middle ground. Yes, there's time to share and show emotion. Ask my kids. I do it all the time with them and my wife, and I kiss my wife in front of my kids. By the way, I won't go off that rabbit trail. I was about to say, no, I'll go ahead and say it. If you're married and have kids, show your kids how much you love each other. Um, that way they know what a healthy relationship looks like. If you have a healthy relationship, if you guys are if you're having disagreements or arguments, do it away from the kids. And when you're in front of the kids, show each other how much you love each other. My wife and I do it all the time. We don't do anything overtly sexual or inappropriate in front of our kids, but we hug and kiss and tickle and giggle and just have fun, you know, and show our kids how much we love each other and try to get it to where they understand this, you know, we have a great marriage. We want you to understand what a great marriage kind of looks like, because we're not perfect, but we want to set an example of something to where they don't get in a toxic relationship and think, well, this is the way it's got to be because mom and dad had issues too. But anyway, that's a side note. Maybe that's something that I'll I'll talk about another day. But anyway, back to the mental and emotional side. A lot of times we're as men we're told to kind of shove it down. Don't talk about your emotions. Don't be emotional. Be a guy. Be tough. You know, Tim Allen, Home Improvement. If you're too young for that one, but I think we still have to. That's not healthy. Shoving it down. I said shoving it all down and never being emotional, or sharing your emotions, especially if they're negative or if you're struggling with emotions. Um, that's never a good thing. Like I said, I also think being where everything is emotions is also unhealthy, um, because there is times when you do need to suck it up and be a leader, and then after that decompress and be able to share your thoughts and emotions without negatively affecting the people around you. And that's the big thing is you know, we never want to negatively affect the people around us, but if we need help, we need to ask. And I think that's the toughest thing for guys is just asking for help. Um, it's even tough for me because, you know, I'm very open with my wife about um, where I'm at mentally and emotionally. And obviously we've been married 18 years, been together. We've known each other right about 20 years, and she can read my face, so she knows when something's not right. But we got to share. We got to have somebody to talk to. And if you're uncomfortable sharing it with your significant other, you need to have a group of guys that you could call up one or text several of them just to let them know, hey, I'm not right in the head today. And, you know, that's all you really need to tell them, because they'll start asking questions. You know, is it something personal? Is it something at work? To get even deeper, are you having negative thoughts? Are you thinking about hurting yourself? You know, I've got so many military family, um, brother-in-laws. I've had one, two, three, four, five or six brother-in-laws that have served in the military. I didn't serve because of some knee issues, so I was a firefighter for almost 20 years. Um, I wish I would have been able to serve. Anyway, that's another rabbit trail. But you know, the project there have been studies done, and there's an organization called Project 22. You know, that talks about there's 22 veterans that commit suicide every day. A majority of them are men, and a lot of times it's because we're told you don't talk about mental issues or mental struggles because you're going to be labeled. You know, not to get too political about it, there's red flag laws that are trying to go through Congress that they'll confiscate your firearms if you're thinking about hurting yourself. You know, there's just a lot of negative connotation and stigma around mentally struggling or having bad days or just going through a bad season where you just need some help or somebody to talk to. And I think as guys, we got to get past our pride here and have somebody, like I said, I think it's great if you have a group of guys. That way, if one or two are unavailable, you've got three and four or five to go to that you can, that's I hate to call them backups, but basically you've got let's kind of make this a football analogy. You've got your front line that's there to, you know, snap the ball to you and then protect you from the incoming struggles that are coming at you. They're there to protect you so that you can get the ball moving up the field and get through the struggle that you're having. And you just got to do it. And I apologize that I don't have this nice flowy make you feel good about yourself way to share with somebody, because you just got to. You have to. When you get to the point where your life, it hurts to get up in the morning because to you life just sucks. Or you know what, you wake up and you're having a bad day, or I gotta tell my wife I'm in a funk. Sometimes I can have a funk that where it's just like I just don't like stuff right now. And it might last one day, it might last 3 or 4 days, but my wife can normally read it on my face and she'll ask me what's wrong. And it's like, nothing's really wrong. It's just I'm in a funk and I don't like, there's things that are just irritating me that I just don't like life today. But it's not that I'm going to hurt myself. I have not thought about hurting myself since I was a teenager. But we all have those days where we just hate life, or hate things in life that just feel like they're making us miserable, even if it's little tiny stuff. But some people have deeper issues to where they need somebody to talk to, somebody to um, get that just kind of release and get that pressure off. And otherwise, you sit there and build up that pressure. In an old firefighting term, a BLEVE, which is like easiest way to explain it is like a propane tank that's on fire, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And even though the pop off valve is going and there's fire flying everywhere, you're still building up heat and pressure inside the tank. And if you don't have a way to release that pressure and get everything out and have somebody to sit down and talk to, you're gonna explode. And it can be exploding on your family and causing you to do something you don't want to do, like yelling at your kids, God forbid, um, physically hurting a family member. Uh, but if you don't have somebody to talk to or a group of guys to come around you and support you, me being a Christian, like guys to pray for me and help me through it. In fact, let me throw up our verse of the day today, because I think as Christian men, if you're a believer, I believe this is what we're called to do. It's bear one another's burdens so to fulfill the law of Christ. And that's out of Galatians 6:2. Um, we're there to help each other out. We're there to see the weight on our brother's face, whether physical brother or not. I don't have a physical brother. I've got my wonderful sister, which I love her very much. By the way, that wasn't sarcastic. But we've got our brothers around us. We've got the men around us that can help us through these situations, through the rough times, and we've got to be able to reciprocate that as well. That once we've made it through a rough patch and gotten through the issues that are in our head, we can turn around and be there when we get the text or phone call from a friend that says, "Hey, man, can you just talk to me today?" Or listen, I need to dump. I need to vent. I've got to get some stuff off my chest. I just got to release some pressure. That way I don't yell at the kids or kick the dog or, you know, have road rage and push somebody off the highway, which we all have, by the way. We have to learn to open up. We have to learn to open up. Because if we don't, especially during the difficult times of life, bad things happen. And I'm not talking like physical violence all the time. It's just if you can't communicate and have somebody to talk to, if you need to see a counselor, by the way, please see a counselor. See somebody that you can talk to, even if you have to pay for it. But if we don't have somebody that we can turn to, we end up hurting, at least emotionally, the ones closest to us, the people we love the most, just because they're in proximity. It's not because we don't love them. It's not because we have something against them. It's just because they're there, and we don't have anybody else to just dump on, because we've been in our head so much. So, guys, you got to have somebody around you, and heck, if you need somebody, I'm right here. Like I said, we've and I know I've mentioned it before. If you need somebody to talk to, even if you're not a believer, you know what? I'll pray for you. Even if you're not a believer, I'll still do that. I don't know how else to do it, because to me that's how I make it through a lot. My personal relationship with Christ really really helps me a lot, reading the Bible and praying, especially on those rough days. Being close to my wife, um, having some devotional time with her, and praying with her really helps me and humbles me and recenters me. But I also have my guys on Tuesday that I get to meet with, that they allow me to open up when I need to open up. They put me in my place when I need to be put in my place. Um, and I do the same for them. So, guys, if you're struggling, if you need help, first off, let me start extreme case. If you're thinking about hurting yourself, thinking about taking your life, first, don't. You may think it's life is horrible and nobody would care if you're gone. There are people that love you that will be devastated if you're gone. They need your love, they need your leadership. They love you, they want you to be around. So don't do anything. Call somebody for help. Call 911, call a counselor, call a church. I wish I would have looked it up before I started, but I wasn't planning on getting that deep into it. Google the National Suicide Hotline. Find somebody, get some help. Find somebody to talk to. Second, for guys that are just struggling a little bit, having bad days where you end up, like I said, blowing up on your wife or your kids or your girlfriend, kicking the dog, whatever, treating people at work with disrespect. If you're just having a rough time, get yourself around some guys that will listen and will help you grow, but will let you get your frustrations out, whether it's sitting down over a cup of coffee or having a beer, which I'm going to suggest on top of this, don't get drunk while you're venting, because that just makes it 10 times worse. Notice I said have a beer if you're going to do that. Have a cup of coffee, have a beer, and get your best buddy who is serious about being your friend, letting you get some stuff off your chest. Tell them what's wrong. Ask them for advice. Make sure it's good advice. I mean, don't don't do this with an immature buddy that's going to be like, "Well, screw them all. Let's just go do our own thing and forget everybody else." No, you don't need to do that. Find some wise counsel. Um, Somebody that's as mature or more mature than you are, to sit down and talk to them about it. And last, if you are married, let your spouse, or if you're engaged, serious relationship, whatever. I guess I shouldn't have just made that about marriage, but if you're in a serious relationship, married, make sure your significant other knows when you're struggling and what you're struggling with. They can help you. Ask them permission. Say, "Hey, I'm struggling. Can I just get some stuff off my chest?" You don't have to. You can, if you have something you feel would help, you can comment back. If not, just let me do it. But get that help. Get people to talk to. It's a lot of times it's easier to dump this stuff on other guys because we understand what you're going through. But ask for help. Get past your pride. Get past any worries about, well, what are they going to think? If they're truly your friend, they're going to be honored that you asked for their guidance and for their help, or just to be there for you. If they're truly a friend, they will be honored and happy to help. If they're not honored and happy to help, you got the wrong friends, bud. You need to find better friends. And again, like I said, if you don't have somebody to talk to, you can message me either on Twitch, Firesquasher357. Here, let me pop this back up. Firesquasher357 right here, FIRESQWASHER 357. It's spelled a little weird. You can message me on Twitch, Firesquasher357. On YouTube, we're Forged with Fire. Forged with Fire. You can send us a message there. We're also on Facebook. And I guess I should close this other one down. We're not on Instagram anymore. They've changed algorithms, or the account got hacked or something, and we were having some inappropriate content pop up. Not posted, but like in our feed. So I don't know what happened there. I know it's all algorithm based. It's whatever you look at. So I think our account may have got hacked. But I've taken us off Instagram for the time being. But you can, if you guys need somebody to talk to and you don't feel like you have anybody, you can email me. Forged with Fire Online. That's one word, Forged with Fire Online at gmail.com. You can email me. We can get a conversation going. I'll do whatever I can to help you. I'm not a certified anything. I'm just a guy that's done a lot, made a lot of mistakes, and I found a group of guys that I get to talk to, and I just want to share that, and if I can, if you need it. But you can send me a message. Also, if since we're getting ready to wrap it up here because it's about time for work, if you have any thoughts, concerns, questions, topics you'd like us to cover, you can email, again, forgedwithfireonline at gmail.com. Let us know what you think, and we also appreciate any likes, subscriptions, follows, anything on all of our platforms: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Like I said, Instagram is currently down. But we'd appreciate it, and share and spread the word. If you know guys that could use some knowledge from some of my mistakes, send them this information. Let them laugh at me. This dude's stupid. But anyway, guys, get help if you need it. Let us know if you need anything that we can help you with. We'll help you get connected with somebody if we can't help you. So anyway, love you guys. Appreciate it. All the likes and follows and everybody that's sharing this. It's been a great morning. I hope you guys have a great day, great week. We will see you soon.